am back with another headshot review for the LinkedIn Top Voices. This time I'm going through the category marketing and social. I haven't seen any of these people's profiles before. You're gonna get my honest opinion and reaction in hopes to educate people on what makes a good headshot and how people could improve their headshots. Hopefully we learned something here today. None of this is meant to be shameful or put people down or negatively critique, but I do hope to elevate the headshot game on LinkedIn. Previously, I did a video on LinkedIn's top 10 tips for a successful headshot, and I'll be linking that below. So go check that video out because I'm going to gauge these LinkedIn headshot reviews off of that article. Now, a lot of their tips I fully agree with and preach to all my clients. We align there, but these are the LinkedIn top voices for these certain categories, and then LinkedIn has suggested headshots. So let's see if these people are actually following LinkedIn's tips. The #1 top voice on LinkedIn for marketing and social is Tai Tran. Being in marketing and social already, I already follow him, so that's great. So let's just dive into his headshot. Now, the first thing I notice is there's a little bit of a distracting background. He's in front of a bush. It's just a little distracting. I would like to see his face more. The second thing is his wardrobe is a little bit flipped open. It's just a little, there could be a little more attention to detail in there. But I shouldn't even necessarily worry about his wardrobe because his face needs to be zoomed in a little bit more. Remember, LinkedIn suggests that we have our face fill 60% of that circle. So you could zoom in quite a bit more. The photo looks a little blurry, so I don't know how high resolution it is. It might be a cell phone photo. And there's a blue tinge to it with the blacks raised, which probably means there is a little bit of a filter on there. So again, according to LinkedIn, a no-no. And most professional photographers you would probably speak to would also like to not see an Instagram filter on there. I don't know if it's an Instagram filter, but a filter on there. And I can see in your glasses a little bit, it looks like you have the blue light filter glasses. Great, fine, you're in front of the computer, you need that. That's something I would probably edit out as a professional photographer. It's just a little distracting to see that blue glare in your headshot. But your expression, lovely. You have a great approachable smile. I would feel no hesitation coming up into you and saying hi, although you may not want me to say hi after this review, but it's not against you, I swear. I'm just critiquing headshots to help educate people. This is not at all in any way against who you are as a person. And you have great confident eyes. So you look confident, you look friendly, you look approachable. I think the expression's great. I would just kind of tweak some of those things, get into a photo studio, or if you do really want to be outside, at least hire a professional photographer and don't have that distracting background. You could add, if you really want to do it outside, you could add a lot more depth to the background, and with a professional camera with the correct aperture and maybe a bigger sensor, you'd have a lot of a softer background. Your entire photo's in focus, so the leaves on the bush are also in focus, and I think softening that background would be really nice. iPhones and other phones have a AI filter on the phone, portrait mode on the iPhone, that makes the background a little blurry. It looks super cheesy, super fake. Don't use it. Hire a professional photographer, shallow depth of field photo if that's what you want with some depth, or just get into the studio. When I'm in the studio and I'm shooting, I have my f-stop at like f11 to f14 or 16 and everything's in focus, but that's great, and I'm shooting on a solid color background. Those are my tips for your headshot. The second top voice in the marketing and social category for LinkedIn is Glenn Liebowitz. So he kind of has some of that depth I was talking about previously. There's some out of focus lights in the background. However, because the lights are so bright and right by your face, my eye, like, I look at your face, but then I look over to the lights. I would either like to see something, a background where the bokeh or the soft focus background is a little more evenly, like has like lights more evenly placed, not just clumped right by your eye. But I really like how cropped in on the photo you are. Your face fills 60% of the frame. Your wardrobe's nice, is probably what you would wear to meet a new client or to a conference. The amount of your smile is nice. Like I said, we don't have to show teeth. A little bit of a smile goes a long way. You still look super friendly and approachable, which I like, and your eyes are confident. Okay, the number 3 spot on the top voices LinkedIn for social media marketing. I can't find them on LinkedIn anymore, so I'm not actually quite sure what happened there. So let's go to number 4. Number 4 is Tom Goodwin. Tom Goodwin focuses on pragmatic use of AI and how it impacts culture, workflows, and business structure. I love Tom's photo. I could tell it's done by a professional. It's really harsh lighting, but it's purposeful. His photo is a little bit blurry, so I think maybe the one he uploaded might be a little low resolution, or maybe it was a screen grab, but it looks like it was done by a really high-end professional photographer. Your smile is subtle but approachable. Your eyes are very confident, so I really trust what you do. I haven't even actually read through your stuff. I've never heard of you until right now, so I'm gonna check that out. Your hair is well done. I don't know if there was a stylist on set. I can tell that you're wearing some form of like peacoat. It looks really high end. Your face fills 60% of the frame, so you're zoomed in enough according to the LinkedIn guidelines. Overall, really great job. I would also be proud of that photo. Just maybe if you could find like just a higher resolution copy of that photo, it would help us see like just a little more detail, you know? The number 5 spot on the LinkedIn Top Voices Social and Marketing is Katie Martell. Now in her little bio here, it actually doesn't say what she does. It just says met somebody, so I don't know what that's quite about. Let's dive into her headshot, and I'll have to find out what she does after this. Again, right away, I can tell this is a really professional photo. The colors are great, the lighting's great, it looks very high-end, it looks editorial, which is awesome. A couple small tweaks only for the purpose of your profile photo. Now on the phone, so here's an article you wrote. Your profile photo's right here. It's literally the size of a pea. I can't tell any discernible features about you that would let me recognize you. So that's why LinkedIn wants your face to cover 60% of the frame. So people can recognize you in a very itty bitty tiny profile photo. Let's go back to your profile. When I click on your actual profile, your profile photo is the size of a quarter. So now I can see way more features that would help me recognize you, but you're still zoomed out too far. Like again, it's a fantastic photo. I think it'd be great for blog posts, social, PR, marketing, all of that, even the banner in the background, but probably just not best for the profile photo. Your expression, you're joyful. I definitely would like to get to network with you based on your expression, but you're not looking at the camera. I would love some human connection. You're laughing up and away, fine, just probably not for the purpose of this photo. Again, I would love to see it cropped in, even from this photo shoot. If you have a photo from this photo shoot, just one where you're like connecting with the camera and then zoom in nice and tight, I think that would be a great photo. Number 6, LinkedIn top voice for social media and marketing is Shama Hyder. She is the founder and CEO of Zen Media, and she's a keynote speaker. Let's dive into her headshot. Now right away, I'm a little biased. I think this photo's fantastic. Style-wise, it's very similar to my type of photography and my portfolio, so I think that's great. For the purpose of a headshot and your profile photo, I'd probably choose an option without your hand near your face. I would just kind of remove the hand, and I would choose a photo where you're looking towards and at the camera, connecting with your audience. Again, you're looking up, your expression is joyful, you look like somebody I'd want to network with. Which is fantastic. I would just bring your focus to your audience looking straight into the camera. And I'm sure from this photo session you have those. You just like this photo better, and that's totally fine, and there's no right or wrong answer, just based on the LinkedIn guidelines and my opinion as a professional headshot photographer. When people are choosing the right photo for the profile photo, I would probably choose something connecting with the camera, and I would remove that hand, and then you could zoom in just a little bit so your face fills 60% of that frame. But great photo, love the photography style, is very similar to my own. I love a great background, and I think it's awesome. Wardrobe's great, hair is great, the retouch on the photo is great and high end. Yeah, I love the photo, good job. The number 7 top voice on LinkedIn for social and marketing is Nathaniel Whittemore. He's the founder and CEO of Super Intelligent, the platform for learning AI, so clearly into tech. And your headshot is a bold choice. It's very model-esque. The expression is a little more stoic, a little more mysterious. The lighting also kind of makes it a little more mysterious. It is Rembrandt style lighting, meaning the light's coming from one side and casting a shadow over on this side. And this is just my opinion. Your eyes are a little dark. I would like to see a little more connection with you for a headshot photo. This is very editorial. The wardrobe looks high-end. Like, it does look quite high-end, but the photo's a little cold. I think the style of the photo is great. There's a blue tinge to it, which could speak to technology, but the photo's a little cold. So if you want, like, depending on what you want to communicate, you could choose a little bit of a warmer photo, and that would communicate warmth and friendliness. Where this photo kind of comes off a little bit cold, potentially could communicate being a little standoffish. But if that's authentic to who you are and what you want to communicate based on your career, I think that's fantastic. As long as people know what their photo is communicating, I think that's great. I just want to give people the tools to appropriately choose what photo is best for them and their career. So there's no right or wrongs. Like I said, I think it's a great photo, and I like a little more seriousness sometimes. So I think that's great. I think, yeah, you're zoomed in, you're framed appropriately. I would recognize you walking down the street, so that's fantastic. The number 8 top voice for LinkedIn social and marketing is Barry Enderwick. He's the guy behind Sandwiches of History. I don't know what that's about, but yeah, I'm probably gonna check that out based on just the name. Let's pop into your headshot here on LinkedIn. Now you look super friendly, super approachable. When I have a client in the photo studio and we're taking headshots, we get a lot of these expressions where we're laughing. I would probably guide people to choose an expression that's a little more subdued, one that still looks like you and is authentic and communicates what you want to communicate, which is probably you're a really fun, approachable guy, which you communicate there. It's just a hair big. And I think the bigger we smile, the more our eyes go a little bit squinty, and your eyes are quite squinty here. I can't actually see your eyes at all. They look pretty much closed. Now that could also be because you're outside and it might have been really bright. So another reason why I really like studio photography, but if we are shooting outdoors, I would find somewhere in the shade where people are able to open their eyes without any strain to their eyes. Next, we have a little bit of a busy background with a tree in the background, so I'd maybe change that to a solid color background, but you've framed your head correctly according to LinkedIn's headshot guides. Yeah, you look pretty friendly. I wanna find out what Sandwiches of History is all about. A couple tweaks to your headshot I think could go a long way, but what I think you're doing well with this headshot is communicating that you're a fun, approachable guy and that you really enjoy your career. I mean, with a name like Sandwiches of History, you probably really enjoy your career. So I look forward to checking out what the heck Sandwiches of History is. The 9th top voice on LinkedIn for social and marketing is Steve Blakeman. Jump into his headshot. Right away, I think it's a great photo. It's not a solid color background in a studio necessarily, but it's out of focus. It's a very shallow depth of field, so it's not distracting and it looks quite high end. I could tell this was taken by a professional photographer. Your smile is bright and it communicates approachability, and your eyes look kind while still being confident. So I think the expression's great. I think the framing's pretty good. Your face fills 60% of the frame, which is what LinkedIn recommends, and I also recommend. So good job. You can maybe center it a little more. You're a little off center in the circle, but that's not a big deal. The photo is a little soft, could potentially be a little low resolution. Now that just might be LinkedIn, the way they uploaded it, because I could tell it's a professional photo. And I think when people get a professional photo, whether you might be at an event right now, or you might have actually hired a photographer to do this photo, it communicates to people that you care and that you are professional in your own career. When people are really professional in their own career and then they don't have a professional photo, it doesn't translate, it doesn't like connect the dots. And then maybe someone's earlier on in their career and they're not as successful, and when they have a professional photo, it can communicate that they're still confident and capable in their career and their job. So I think hiring the professional photographer to get a real good quality photo is gonna go a long way, no matter where you are in your career. The 10th top voice for LinkedIn social and marketing is Amanda Mitchell. She's a digital product manager at AutoZone. Let's jump into her headshot. Again, I can really tell she hired a professional, and I love that. There's out of focus bokeh in the background that is beautiful. You're outdoors. If I were to guess, just analyzing the photo, it's probably a mixture of natural light and studio light. So I can't really tell if it's just natural light or they used a strobe or a flash to kind of work with the natural light, but it works. It does great. Your photographer did a great job. Now, what I like about this photo is your choice, and I think it was a choice to go with a photo that was a little more stern. Like I said, we don't have to smile in a headshot. We don't have to be laughing or goofy. Probably don't want us to be goofy, but your choice to go with a little bit more of a stern look immediately lets me know that you are to be taken as an authority figure. And I think that's great. The wardrobe's fantastic. I really wouldn't change much. The only thing maybe I would change is just zoom in a little bit. It would just make it a little bit easier for people to recognize you when the profile photo is so small on the cell phone. And those are the top voices on LinkedIn for marketing and social media. I'll link all of their bios below. I'll include the link below that is the LinkedIn headshot tips, as well as this list of top voices for LinkedIn. If you've learned anything from this headshot review and you maybe want to change your headshot, it made you think about headshots a little bit differently, that's all I want, that's all I ask. Feel free to reach out, subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna try to do a bunch more of these reviews, not just LinkedIn. We could review whatever. We could review YouTubers or Instagrammers, TikTokers, business people. Everyone needs a headshot. I'm really looking forward to continuing to make these headshot review videos. So I'd love if you subscribe, ask questions in the comments. Stay tuned for the next video.